menopause
There you go.
and sleep.
That's right.
Where can we start off when we're talking about sleep and menopause?
Oh gosh, I think like one thing I wanted to like touch on. I don't know if this is too deep to start off with, but I'm gonna touch on it right away here. Is I think with a lot of things, and not just menopause, but a lot of things, is we just accept that's the way it is. For example, we just accept during menopause that we're gonna have horrible sleeps because it's menopause, or with anything, right? Just accepting. So I think being more conscious and more aware that we can do things to improve our sleep is a good starting point.
Yeah, it's the same as we get older, we expect our age to decline.
Yes.
That's another expectation and I think that you're exactly right. If we could understand that there are things that we can do to improve our sleep, to improve our health, then we can start taking action towards it.
Mm-hmm.
So what's something that we can do? Where would you start off with maybe? Like for me, I would say that those routines really make all the difference.
He stole that. He asks me the question and then answers it.
I had a blank look from her, so I had to jump in there.
He says, so where would you start? And I was going to say about routines. But since you started, go ahead. I'll come up with something else.
Since I stole it from you.
Yep.
Well, routines are everything. Like they mean everything. Like we always talk about how we're creatures of habit. Like we sleep on the same side of the bed. We eat breakfast in the same chair at the kitchen table. That's just what we do. So instead of fighting that, accept it and find out other areas of your life where you can make healthy habits and routines. Mm-hmm. So we go over morning routines all the time and how important they are. So evening is no different, especially if you kind of bookend your days and do something similar in the morning every day to what you would do in the evening. So if you have that routine of going to bed at the same time, your body's going to start to slowly prepare itself to go to sleep at that time instead of just sporadically saying, I'm not going to sleep anyway, what's the point of trying?
So it's okay to have a bedtime as adults.
That's right.
It's okay.
You should.
You should have a bedtime.
Like this is the bedtime, this is the time I go to bed at a regular basis. Mm-hmm. Because then we can, if you have that time, then we can work things around it. Mm-hmm. So for example, more of a routine, but maybe you have a nice detoxing bath, relaxing bath in the evening. Who knows? I don't know if people would do that every day. We always suggest taking at least one day a week or one day every 2 weeks to have that detoxing bath. But maybe that's something you do in the evening. Mm-hmm. Playing some nice relaxing music, grabbing a book in the evening. Those are something that you can do to create those healthy habits around your bedtime.
And I think that's so important, those routines. And sometimes I think we just jump into bed, put our head on the pillow, and say, why aren't I falling asleep? I do this all the time. But it's important to allow yourself some time to prepare for sleep. Like Drew was saying, a detox bath, some nice meditation music, some reading before bed. And we suggest as well shutting down the screen time at least an hour before bedtime, because screen time is always stimulating our brain, and we need that time to wind down and relax and prepare ourselves for sleep.
And if that hour, I know that hour seems like a stretch because we're on our phones all the time. So if we're not on our laptop, then we go to bed with the phone next to the bed. So something that we recommend is not having the phone in the bedroom.
It shouldn't be there.
As challenging as that is. I know that sounds like crazy to a lot of people, but that phone it's a distraction, especially when we're trying to sleep. So if you remove the bed, like the electronics, there should be no iPads, there should be no TVs, none of that stuff. Those electronics, they put out positive ions that kind of like keep our minds and bodies like vibrating at a different level. Mm-hmm. So if you have like a Himalayan salt lamp, for example, some nice relaxing music, maybe you burn some incense a few minutes before bed, and then make sure it's out, of course.
Yeah, before you go to sleep.
But these are all relaxing things as opposed to stimulating, which we'll get into more of that in a second here, but mm-hmm. that's a stimulant. Mm-hmm. And if we just, I'm just going to check my email one more time before bed, well, then your mind is thinking about that when you're trying to sleep.
Yes.
So if you turn that stuff off, hour, half hour, 15 minutes instead of checking 2 minutes, then going to bed and be like, I can't sleep.
And I just want to touch on time here. It might sound a little crazy to have a routine or to make time for a routine, but it's exactly about making the time to do it. nobody has the time. We must make the time, right?
That's
That
right.
was one of our quotes not too long ago. But it's so true. Like, if we want to improve our sleep or with anything, that's important, and we want to change, you have to make that time for yourself. And you're worth it, right? You're worth that time. So take the time, schedule that time for yourself to have a proper routine in the evening.
Yeah. And then other stimulants we talked about or worth mentioning is what you put in your body, for example, like stimulants being sugary fatty foods, like that stuff kind of wakes us up. Sugar wakes you up. We know that when we see kids
Yeah.
having some sugar and running around. It's the same as with
Yes.
adults, just at different levels, and we don't realize it. So sugar, like fatty foods, processed is a big one. And that goes back to snacking. A lot of people say or think you shouldn't snack in the evening, and we recommend you do snack on healthy foods in the evening. But when we say snacking in the evening, they tell you not to, because most people head to the pantry and you get all those processed foods that your body shouldn't be having. So that our body takes that energy that's supposed to be healing our body while we're sleeping, and it's trying to digest that food, that highly processed, hard to digest food. So instead of putting those low quality foods in your body, stay away from them. That's going to help you sleep better as well.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Good job, Drew.
Anything else regarding sleep? I think you had a good point there at the beginning when it comes to menopause and sleep, and understanding that just because this is a challenging time,
Difficult time. Like, we understand it's difficult.
Yeah.
We're not saying it's easy.
your body's going through all kinds of different things. The most challenging part is things that we've never dealt with before. We'll get into more videos of weight gain, for example, with menopause, or mood swings that we're just not used to, and we're like, what's happening to our body?
Yeah.
So if you can understand that there are things that you can do, like creating those healthy routines that we talked about, and paying attention to what we put in our bodies, and even like screen time, like don't watch an action movie before.
Yeah,
Like
before bedtime.
Like stay away from alcoholic beverages, or tobacco's another one, for example.
Right.
Coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
These are all stimulants that wake us up. So pay attention to what's going on in and around your environment and what you're putting in your body.